is the truth about the Oklahoma City Thunder's first round matchup against the New Orleans Pelicans and why they have a good chance of maybe even sweeping the Pels in the first round of the NBA playoffs. I'm Bryson Akins here with Thunder Digest. Before we get all this, don't forget to hit subscribe. 92% of you guys that are watching these videos are not subscribed to the channel. If you love the content, you keep coming back, and I see most of you guys are coming back already anyways. If you guys love this content and everything, you're coming back, hit the subscribe button. It's free, it's easy, it's simple to do. It's the best way to support the channel and to stay up to date on all your Oklahoma City Thunder news, especially when the offseason rolls around. That way, any news that you're hearing circulated about, you can get from me. And so you've had plenty of time to hit that subscribe button now. We'll get into the video. Now, I know I said the Thunder have a good chance of sweeping the Pelicans, and I still think they do. I think they have a good chance with some news that came out after some media segments and everything here talking about the Thunder. And I just want to talk about that first. The team and media thoughts on the matchup in this first round against the Thunder and Pelicans, because it's a good matchup when everyone is healthy. And this is where I go in and talking about, how the Thunder could sweep the Pelicans and everything. In an article I saw from ESPN, I'm just going to bring it up here real quick. The first thing that was brought up, of course, was the age, all right? The age is just a number, and there's a difference between youth and maturity, the 39-year-old coach said. We're talking about Coach Mark Daigneault. If you're 23 and mature, that's a good thing. If you're 33 and mature, that's a good thing. If you're 23 and immature, it's not going to help you. If you're 53 and immature, you don't have much left. You don't have much time left to figure it out. The Thunder youngest team, blah blah blah. And they also bring up the age of our guys here. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Dort are both 25. Jalen Williams, 23. And Chet and Giddey are 21. That's our starting five and everything. And our bench is also young as well. Our oldest player coming off the bench is Gordon Hayward, who's getting up there in age. I think he's 33, 34, somewhere around that age mark. And then also at the bottom here, I just want to read this Shai Gilgeous-Alexander quote because it kind of talks and everything about, the whole narrative about the Thunder this year and everything. Too young, right? Gilgeous-Alexander said. Heard that all year. It's not going to change. We're still young. We'll probably be young for another 4 or 5 years. We don't worry about it. We worry about what goes on in these four walls. And so he's talking there about how the Thunder are so young and everything, and how people just want to keep bringing that up and everything. And he keeps bringing it up. We've been young, and we're going to stay young for a little bit. Like I said in the article there, Chet Holmgren, in his rookie season right now, he was drafted a year ago and everything, but he's in his rookie season, was injured his first year. Josh Giddey in his third season right now, both at the age of 21. Jalen Williams, 23 in his second season. And Dort and Shai been in the league for a minute, and they're 25 now. They're 25, and they've been in the league for a few years. And it just shows how young this team is and everything, and how much they've been succeeding at this age. And it shows when they hit their prime, which is probably in another 2 years. Shai's in his prime right now. He'll probably stay in his prime for another 5-6 years. When Jalen Williams hits his prime in 2 years, he'll probably be in his prime for 5-6 years as well, along with how Shai's span was and everything. Then Chet Holmgren and Josh Giddey, who are about to hit their prime and everything in a year or two, when they'll be 23 when they're hitting their prime. They'll be in their prime for around, I was about to say at least like 6-7 years, but closer to like 10 years, they'll be in their prime and dominate this league. And people just keep bringing it up. Oh, this team's young. And Gilgeous-Alexander said it best. They're going to be young for a long time. So this is a narrative that's just been put on them and everything that just really doesn't showcases how good this team is and everything. And I know all you guys are wondering now, what makes you think we're going to sweep the Pelicans? Come on, Bryson. I'm sure some of you guys are Pelicans fans too, watching this video maybe here, and you're probably wondering, what makes you think that and everything? This right here. It's Zion Williamson. After straining his left hamstring as he reached the 40-point mark in a loss to the Lakers on Tuesday night, Williamson underwent imaging and further examination on Wednesday, after which he was essentially shelved for 2 weeks. That means he would not be expected to play in the first 4 games of the first round series. After that, he'll be reevaluated to see if he's ready to resume basketball activities. But there's no sure thing, because you got to keep in mind his injury history and everything. He's been having a great regular season. He's been really good. The problem is, though, he is injured, and we know Zion Williamson, if he's injured for 2 weeks, it's really 3 weeks, and so you won't see him this first round of the playoffs, which gives OKC a very good chance of being able to sweep and get a longer break and everything before we probably play the Mavericks. I'm going to be honest, when I look at it and everything, I think the Thunder are playing the Mavericks. I think the Mavericks are winning that series in 6 games. I'm just going to be honest, and that's who we play. But even if we do play the Clippers, it helps to have that nice little, 3 to 2 game extra days of rest. Or I say 3 to 2 games extra days of rest. That makes no sense right there. Really, it's like 6 days of extra rest right there. and everything if we sweep the Pelicans, and I think we can, especially if Zion being out. That really clears up Jalen Williams to do what he wants and everything, because they're going to put Jose Alvarado and Herb Jones and everything, all their defensive players on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. They're going to focus on him. It wouldn't surprise me if they try to double team him. About Zion Williamson, who's going to guard Jalen Williams? It's going to be Brandon Ingram, and he can't guard Jalen Williams. I'm going to be honest. He's too small. I say he's too small. He's got the height. He just doesn't have the size and physicality to guard Jalen Williams, who's a constant driver to the rim with that Russell Westbrook archetype there. And I think the true X factor as well is going to be Chet Holmgren and Jonas Valanciunas, how that matchup is going to look and everything, where Chet Holmgren, he struggled before against some of these larger bodies down low in the paint, and they had to spread out the offense, and that's how we beat the Pelicans. We spread it out and everything. We didn't try to bang down low. And then you also got to keep in mind, we do have Josh Giddey, who's been on a tear as of late. He has had an insane, end of the season and everything ever since the trade deadline. He's been a whole different player, and we need to make sure he keeps doing that come playoff time and everything. If he does keep doing that, Oklahoma City is going to be dangerous. And then Dort, he's a very streaky player. But we're not really worried about him offensively. It'd be nice if he can keep on giving us 15 a game and everything, behind the arc. But we have him for defense and everything. We're going to put him on Brandon Ingram because he's their best offensive player and everything. He's going to limit Ingram to 20 points a game in the series. This is how the Thunder are going to win and sweep the Pelicans. I'm sure some of you guys are also wondering, oh, you brought up all these good points and everything. You wasted most of the video. But how do we fare against the Pels, Bryson? How do we fare against the Pels? All right. I know some of you guys hate how I bring up, past games and everything. Like, oh, blah, you brought up past games. They didn't play, blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's look at it. First game we lost, okay? I'm going to be honest. First game we lost, all right? It was a horrible night from us, but, I'm also going to bring up the stats from that game as well from the Pelicans to show how off they were as well. Then we beat the Pelicans 107-83, and they were without Zion Williamson that game as well. And that just shows, without Zion, they're a completely different team, and we dismantled them. Without Zion Williamson. And then we also beat them when they had Zion Williamson, who played 39 minutes this game, mind you. He played 39 minutes this game in the 119-112 win for the Thunder. And it just shows that the Thunder are they're just a better team, especially when Zion's not on the court. And right here, as you can see, this is from our 119-112 win right here. Aaron Wiggins didn't even play this game. Our best bench player, he didn't even play that game. As you can see here, too, the starting lineup did their job and everything. Look at the numbers. Great shooting night from us and everything. 53% from the field, 44% from behind the arc, and 85.7% from the free throw line. We didn't even get to the line that much that game at all. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, people say he's a free throw merchant, only had 6 free throws that game. Sure, he led the team, but it's only 6. There's only 6 right there in 38 minutes of play. It just shows, even with Zion Williamson, we are a very efficient shooting team, and when we are taking the shots that we know we can make and that we know and are in our range, barely any team can beat us because we're just smart how we play and everything. We know what we can get, and so we take whatever we get on the team. But also, I'm going to show you the stat box here from the Pelicans win against us, all right? As you can see here at the bottom, they shot horribly on all facets of the game. Below 40% from the field, 31% from the three-point line, 13 for 42. All right, they took 42 threes, only made 13. That is abysmal. A lot of teams get beat doing that, but it's also an off-shooting night for the Thunder as well, as we went 20% from the three-point line that game, then 58% from the free throw line that game for the Pelicans. As you can see, they don't shoot from the line all that well. They really don't. And so the thing is, if we foul, there's really nothing to worry about. Whereas if we play a team like the Mavericks or Clippers, who are a better free throw shooting team and everything, if we foul the Pelicans and everything, it's not the end of the world. They'll go 1 for 2 from the line, and they only get 1 point off of it. That's a win for us, all right? That's a win. It's fine. Late in the game when we have to foul and everything, if we ever find ourselves down, it's not the end of the world because we know they're not a great free throw shooting team, and they're just not a great shooting team in general. They take a lot of bad shot selections and everything. They're not very efficient at shooting the ball. They try to force everything there because it's a bunch of shot creators on the team and everything. And it's just they clog up the paint and everything because they have 2 big men in Zion Williamson and Jonas Valanciunas. And so there's shot creators like Ingram who try to drive in, get a mid-range jumper. They just get flooded there. Whereas with the Thunder, it's a very small ball lineup. When we do the same thing, however, it's not clogged in the lane and we do create shots. And that is how we're going to beat the Pelicans in this series and everything, and maybe even potentially sweep them, since they're going to be without Zion Williamson. I know it says the first 4 games he's for sure out and everything, and he could return for the last 3. Knowing Zion Williamson, he is out for this playoff series. The only way he comes back is if the Pelicans find themselves down 3-1 and they're trying to make a comeback. Even then, I don't know if it's going to be enough, because he'll be coming back in Game 5 when it's back in OKC, and we're going to try to finish it out there if it comes down to that, because I do think we can and we will sweep the Pelicans in this series. That's all I got for this video. Once again, like I said, if you love this content, you found yourself coming back, and you stayed all the way through the end of this video, hit the subscribe button. It's free, it's easy, it's the best way to support the channel and stay up to date on your Oklahoma City Thunder news. I'm Bryson Akins here with Thunder Digest. I'll catch you in the next video.